So, right now, I'm in this realization where I kinda understand that I'm going too fast. Okay? So, what I mean by that is I watched a video today that was about the slow life. Okay? So, what he meant by that, it was like a 20-minute video where, like, a guy was just talking, right? So, the slow life. So, what it means is basically all you do with full intention and presence. Okay? So, obviously, the first thing, that causes the fast life, the first thing you need to quit is social media. Like, obviously, like, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, everything like that gives you some kind of fast reaction or emotion or dopamine. I mean, you have to cut it off. I mean, you really have to, you know. I've been without social media for like 2 weeks now, okay? And I feel better than ever. Like, really, my focus has improved, I mean, that's the main thing. Some things I enjoy doing much more. For example, watching films or TV shows. I enjoy doing them much more now, and they give me, sorry, they give me much more pleasure and dopamine. So previously when I watched a movie, I had to hold my phone in one hand and just like kind of look at the movie and Instagram at the same time. Although I knew it was bad, it was like kind of like I was bored if I just watched a movie. Now when I watch a movie, I'm there with full intention, presence, and focus. So it just feels so much better just by quitting social media. Okay, so this is me 2 weeks without being, uh, with with me being without social media. Okay, for 2 weeks. Now, I mean, what they talked about was, yeah, like obviously the first thing you need to cut off is social media. The second thing is, well, basically how you could conclude it or summarize it is everything that involves some kind of, for example, music or podcasts. Let's say you go for a walk. Most people usually always listen to music. Like, music addiction is so normalized. Everyone just has their earbud in all the time. Okay? I'm not one of these people because, I mean, first of all, I have a wire, like headphones with wires, so it's kind of like I can't even do that. I never even had AirPods. And the second thing is, I just feel like for me, I feel like, I want to take things slower. I want to like be in the moment with more presence and with more focus. Okay, so it's like it's all about how you do things. Like, do one thing at a time with full focus, and when you will do it enough times and you practice it, then it will become much more easier. And like, obviously, if I told you right now to quit social media, like the first day, the first 3 days, the first week, even the first month would be like, it would be bad. You would be bored. You'd probably even go back to social media just based on impulses. But that was the main point of him, that when you're in that slow life, then these like impulses, they're not that strong. Like, because it's basically like learning to be bored, like learning to just be, you know. And right now, like, I noticed that I never ever put it in a way of that, like, slow life and fast life, because but it makes so much sense. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing things, right? I'm jumping from one thing to another, then I'm opening my Instagram, then I'm listening to some music, then I'm watching some TV show, and nothing really like gives me the feeling, nothing really, like, I get bored from everything, then I just switch constantly, and that is like what fast life is, and when I do that, I become more upset. I become more like, angry, pissed off about things because everything just bores me. And then I get like pissed off, and that's it, right? Then it's like, then it's just not the way I want to live, you know? So like really got me thinking, thankfully I quit social media for 2 weeks now. It would be like way worse for me. I mean, like, I'm talking about like quitting social media is like one of the hardest things you can do. Like really, like even I haven't like quit social media. It's only 2 weeks. I've been addicted to social media for like 3 weeks now, or I don't even know. Like I've actually like been addicted. Every one of us has. Even though my screen time was like 3-4 hours, it's still like, it's still an addiction. We might not know it. We might not, say it to ourselves, but it really is. We're all addicted, and it is hard thing to quit. Like I already said, even I haven't like quit it with 2 weeks. It will take me like a month and two for the full effect of not owning any social media and not constantly being overstimulated will take place. So it's kind of like I'm in the middle of journey here. I'm glad that that I lost my phone and I had this week period where I just couldn't use it. And I'm not gonna download it back too. I mean, I deleted Snapchat. I downloaded it back for a minute, and then I was like, I'm out, right? Then I deleted it. So right, like yeah. So it really is like slow life is really like the opposite of what we're doing. Like we're constantly stimulating ourselves. We're constantly listening to music, listening to podcasts, working, caffeine, nicotine, everything like that. Now, obviously, I'm not saying you can't do any of that. Obviously, I'm not saying you can't, drink coffee never, or you can't ever do nicotine or whatever like that. But at least be aware of that, Like, be aware that right now I'm drinking coffee and I know that it will make me more, it will take me more out of the moment. It will make me focus more, but like, you understand what I mean? It will not be the slow life. The slow life means embracing the boredom, okay? Like, obviously, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So, like, being bored, thinking about things, okay? Because when you were a child, and you were constantly bored, unless you were like raised in a household where they just gave you an iPad or phone straight away. I mean, my mom definitely gave me a phone, and I kind of like used phone. I'm not saying that I have been raised like without phones or anything like that, but I still, yeah, like we all know, we all can relate to the feeling where we're just bored. We find things to do. We find toys to play with outside. Maybe you find some sticks, and maybe you find some sandbox, and then some other rocks and stuff, and you could make like a whole imaginary world out of it. You could plan, like, I remember it so well, where I had like these sticks, right? And then I played in a sand. It was with my friend too, and I was like, I don't know, 6 years old then. Doesn't really matter. Even earlier actually. And I had this like like just like random things you found outside, like rocks, sticks, right? Whatever, like some kind of, I don't know, wood pieces, right? And then I just played, and I remember like I made a war. I like playing war a lot. Like then I put some other like guys on here and other guys here. All I had was sticks and sand and whatever, like some cool things I found on the ground and rocks. And I literally like made a whole war, and I, that image played in my head. I just used my imagination. I was bored, but at the same time I wasn't. It's kind of like they go hand in hand, like imagination and boredom, they go hand in hand. They couldn't exist without each other, because if you couldn't have boredom, if you don't have boredom, think about it. In your right now, in your life, if you don't have boredom, how could you use your imagination? Like, let's say all the time you feel boredom, you're in your phone, okay? So you're killing the boredom, but you can't use your imagination when you're on your phone, you know? But with imagination, well, it's the same thing, right? You can't use imagination without boredom. It doesn't work like that. And we all remember how happy and how fulfilled we were when we were kids. And it's the thing, like, we say to ourselves right now, we say to ourselves that, you know, we were so happy when we were kids and we didn't have any problems, but we don't have any problems right now too. We have exactly the same problems that we had when we were kids. But guess what changes? I mean, you know it already. It's the phones. It's the social media. It's the constantly overstimulating your brain. You know, that's what makes us unhappy. Because we can't find the fulfillment and the happiness in one single activity. If you live the slow life, then you can be happy. You can be the happiest man in the world just watching a simple TV show. It will feel like the most dopamine fullest thing ever. Think about if you gave a caveman, I don't know, episode of Friends, you know? He would be so overstimulated by it. It would be like the craziest, the most exciting thing in the world for him. For you, it really isn't nothing, you know? It's like you even need a phone for that. So that's the thing, like, which life do you want to live? Do we want to constantly, and it will get worse too, like once you're in the fast life, the more downhill you go, like you will just go more and more downhill, right? Sometimes just watching a TV show and phone isn't enough for you, then you take like, I don't know, sugar too, right? It gets worse, you know, it gets worse. With slow life, you can actually be happy. And you know, I mean, happiness is like a. I have my own thoughts on what happiness actually is, but in a way that we would both understand, it would be like, yeah, like fulfillment. So, like, do you want to feel fulfilled when you do a certain task? You could even feel like that's the thing, like, you live the slow life and then you're happy doing anything. Like, you're happy taking just a walk, obviously without earbuds, obviously without music, any phones or anything, right? You will feel happy when you talk to the stranger, you know? Like social media, like, you don't have any point to talking to, I don't know, strangers or new people or making new friends, right? So, like, obviously, when you live the slow life, like, talking to other person will be like the craziest, like, not the craziest, but like, you know, it will feel much more exciting. You know what more to say. You will be actually interested in the other person. It will all like change, like your whole world will change once you actually quit social media. And it's true, like most people will never do that. And it's sad to see, like most people will be on the social media path for the rest of their life, and they will never ever get to experience what is the feeling of being bored again. You know, they felt it when they were a child, and it was their last time, you know? One day was the last time that they actually felt like full happiness and full presence in the current moment. From that day on that they got their phone, now they're trapped in there forever. Like some people are, like obviously you can quit it, you can make your life better, you can change it, and you will see it like, wow, you know, thank God I did it. For example, me, I'm so thankful for that, you know. I mean, I've always knew that I was like meant for something bigger, but that is the first step, you know. I'm so thankful that I don't have that I, you know, got this lesson of what social media like does to you. But most people will never ever get to experience that. Like, never. They will die being addicted to their phones. and it will get worse like the more time goes on, you know. I mean, it's kind of like sad to think in a way, but like I really don't like thinking about it in this like specific way. Obviously there are so many people who understand it, who are like me, who like haven't, who like consciously know that what it means, what social media does to you. I know people like this, right? And I'm so glad for that. You know, that again makes me so grateful that there are people like this, that actually they're not trapped there. So like, yeah, like whichever side do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side that will, you know, the cost of you being addicted to social media is unimaginable. It will not only make your life worse, it will make it a hell. Like you literally, there's no point, like, you know, it will make your life a hell. You can't even focus on anything, you can't do anything, you can't, at the end you can't even get a job, you can't do anything. Nothing ever gets you fulfilled. And the only thing that gets close to it is your phone. So that's why you're on your phone all the time, right? And you will never ever feel the happiness that you had as a kid when you played in your sandbox, when you used your creativity, when you, I don't know, when you got a candy, you know? So yeah, you know, it's like your choice, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to ruin your life, or like, do you want to like change it, you know? I even made a video about it, like, if you scroll down on my account, you can see like I was 1 week without my phone and I feel amazing, or something like that. You can see the video, you know. It's pretty much about the same thing, but not to end this video on a sad note. I kind of like, I mean, I really don't know what to say, but yeah, I don't want to end this video on like on a depressing note. Yeah, this video is already 17 minutes long, pretty long, and I don't know if you can like notice it, but in this video I feel like my focus, my like point, my train of thought, if that's the right word or phrase, is much more better, you know? But I talk more calmly, you know, I'm in the present moment. Like even I struggle with it right now. I'm going through the phase of achieving that slow life, achieving that presence that I want to achieve, okay? So yeah, just be bored. And I'll like, but the thing is, like, if you decide to do it, you have to understand that it will take time, okay? That's like, the universe will test you, because it is not easy to go from social media to not using social media ever again, to the person, you know, that doesn't use it. It will take time. Like if you, right now you went there and, you know, just went to be bored for 10 minutes straight, you will not feel good. Not a second of that 10 minutes will feel good. The gratitude and the fulfillment and the presence will only hit you when you're truly, truly bored. Okay? Like truly, I'm talking like, what if I told you right now to be bored for 3 hours straight? 3 hours, not do anything, just sit on a couch. The first hour will feel like hell. The second hour, like, you know, you will just gradually see yourself like just finding ways to not be bored, you know, new thinking patterns, all that, you know. You can't explain it. It's literally like, once you go there, you're like, you can go back, but it will feel so much different. You know, life without social media is so much different, and it's kind of weird to like think about it, that we are in this moment where I actually say that, you know. When you would, let's say a person 30 years ago saw this video, he would be like, what is this guy talking about? You know, like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? It can't be that bad, you know? I mean, it isn't that bad, but at the same time, like, it kinda is, you know? So like, yeah, I'm glad I understood it. I'm glad that I like understand it, the impact that it does to you. And it's kind of ironic to think about that we as a society have, reached so far. But again, I don't like talking about these kind of things in a like depressing note or something, you know. But yeah, let me know what you think, because like it's for you at the end of the day. Like the change that you will see when you finally do this, when you finally decide that I want to live a fulfilled and a happy life, like a kid again. Once you actually decide this and once you actually go through this, you will be so thankful, so thankful that it happened. So thankful. And you will never, you don't understand, if you haven't gone through that, you don't understand what I mean. Okay? You will not understand what I mean by being thankful. Like, what do you mean, right? It will be like, oh yeah, maybe I'll be thankful or something like that. But no, man. You will be so grateful that you did it. You will. But it won't change how hard it will be. So like, yeah, it's really up to you. How much do you want it? How much do you want to change your life? How much do you have to lose? How much do you have to gain? How much do you have to drive? And the willpower, and to want something more in life than just that, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope to see you in another video, and yeah, have a great day.